Hey Sega, Sonic the Hedgehog isn't the only intellectual property you own, so why are you acting like it? You guys need to step it up. Hey, what's up guys? This is Los from the Big Retro Show. Thank you very much for joining me today. A big welcome to you guys. And today I'm going to be talking to you guys about Sega and how they have failed. How they failed all of us gamers. The reason I say that is because they have totally ignored some of their best franchises. Now, they seem to think that Sonic is the only franchise that us gamers care about, but that is not true. And that's why I decided to make this video. Now, I did a similar video talking about how Nintendo has also ignored some of its best franchises. And I will leave a link to that video in the description. So this is the Sega version of this video. The very first game that I'm going to be talking to you guys about is Altered Beast. Now I know what you guys are thinking. Altered Beast definitely gets a lot of unwarranted hate in my opinion, because Altered Beast was and is a great game. The very first time I saw Altered Beast was obviously in the arcades. I grew up playing Altered Beast and there was something so different about it. Yes, it was a side-scrolling beat-em-up in which you turned into a werewolf and a were-tiger and a were-bear and all of these other crazy animals to try and kill the lords of the underworld. I loved the game, I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was pretty cool. Right from the opening, you get to rise from the grave and there's this big booming voice that just kind of pumps you up for the whole adventure. So then after the whole arcade thing died down, the game got its second wind on the Sega Genesis because Altered Beast was a launch title that was bundled up with the Sega Genesis, and it was damn near perfect. It was a great home console port of the beloved arcade hit. I loved it, and it was one of the reasons that I had to get a Sega Genesis back in the day. The next time we saw Altered Beast was on the Game Boy Advance. There was a Game Boy Advance Altered Beast game released. I had actually never played it and didn't know anything about it, but it plays very similar to Altered Beast. In Altered Beast, you have to destroy wolves. There's this one particular white wolf that you kick or you punch and they give you an orb. If you collect 3 of the orbs, then you get to turn into a beast. In the Game Boy Advance version, that is replaced. No longer do you kick wolves around. You kick these orco-looking dudes, these dudes in shrouds, and it's the same concept. You find them, you kill them, and you receive one of the orbs that will power you up and make you buffer, eventually leading to your animal transformation. Now, I have to say that the Game Boy handled the transformations pretty impressively. I was really impressed with that. The other thing I like about this Game Boy version is that you get to change into different animals not seen in the original arcade classic. I did appreciate playing the new forms, the new beasts that you turn into, and I thought that that made this game stand apart. There's a lot of levels in this game too, so if you guys know about the Altered Beast Game Boy Advance version, then you know, and if you don't, I highly recommend that you guys play it. The final Altered Beast game that we saw didn't actually make it to the United States. It stayed in Japan and in Europe, and it's called Project Altered Beast. This was a game released for the PS2, and it was given the 3D treatment. This game is actually good. I have no idea, Sega, why you did not port this over to the US, because it's got a good story, albeit it's a little bit convoluted, and the play mechanics are fun. You transform in this game to a different beast because of a chip that's embedded in you, and you find different chips throughout your playthrough that let you transform into different animals. I think I was only able to transform into like the merman, It's like a mer creature that you can use to swim and blow these bubbles against your enemies. But I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was a pretty unique game. And it's a shame. It's really a shame that Sega did not port this over to the United States. You guys in Europe lucked out with this game. So Sega, we want you to make a new Altered Beast game. I don't know, maybe it could be an open world game. Maybe it could be something entirely different. But Altered Beast definitely deserves a makeover, in my opinion. The second game I'm going to be talking about is Shinobi. Now, Shinobi is a staple of the arcades. This too started out as an arcade game, and it was basically a run and gun game where you take on the role of a ninja who's trying to rescue hostages that are sprinkled throughout the levels, and you're taking on this shadow ninja cult, I guess. There seems to be a lot of cults on YouTube lately, but this one is a ninja cult that you try to overtake and you try to rescue the hostages in this game. It was an awesome game, and it received ports everywhere. I believe I had the Sega Master System port, and that port was good. You know, I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't arcade perfect or anything, but it was good for what it was. And I think that was also ported over to the Nintendo as well. I have a copy of the game, and yeah, I mean, it wasn't the best port around, but it did the job. It really did the job. Now, Shinobi really shined though on the 16-bit Sega Genesis, because the Sega Genesis had Revenge of Shinobi, and it totally blew my mind back in the day. Not only were you a ninja, but you were dressed in white, kind of like Storm Shadow in G.I. Joe, and you could double jump, and while you double jump, you can like fan out your ninja darts and kill like everything in sight. It was awesome. It was a different play mechanic. The ninja magic in Revenge of Shinobi was also handled differently. There was a ninja magic for you to have a shield, like an electric shield. There was one where you blew up at the cost of a life. It was a screen cleaning bomb that you blew everything up with. It was cool, but it cost you a life. The other magic that you were able to use in Revenge of Shinobi was a bubble magic that made you jump up, and there was a fire magic too. So the ninja magic was different, and there was a variety. The other thing I remember about Revenge of Shinobi is that there were a lot of characters that resembled like licensed characters. Like there was Rambo and Spider-Man and Batman, and I think it was like, was it Godzilla was in there at one point? I don't know. In the later versions of the game though, they changed it, but this was an awesome game. Awesome game. Of course, Revenge of Shinobi was also followed up by Shadow Dancer. And this game too switched it up again. Once again, you donned the white ninja costume, but this time you had a canine sidekick that would dart over at the enemies and grab them while you threw a ninja star at them. It was an awesome dynamic. I loved this game. It was very different than Revenge of Shinobi, which I appreciated. And this is a total hidden gem on the Sega Genesis. I have to also mention that Shadow Dancer was also released in the arcades as well, and that too is an awesome game. I don't know why, Sega. Why did you just not continue making these great games? Of course, on the Sega Genesis, you also had Shinobi 3, and that too was an awesome game. It mixed a little bit of the gameplay elements from Shadow Dancer and from Revenge of Shinobi, and it was an awesome game too. I didn't grow up playing this game. I discovered it later on in life, because at that point, by the time it was released on the Sega Genesis, I had moved on to different gaming systems. And so I wish I would have played it back then, because it's an awesome game. You get to, kill fools with your ninja stars, with your sword, and you get to ride on like surfboards and stuff, taking fools out. It's a pretty awesome game. So the Sega Saturn also received a port of Shinobi This is also a game that I did not grow up playing. I wish I would have, though. I just didn't have a Sega Saturn. I discovered this game later on in life. And the big difference with this game is that they used full motion video, and it worked for the most part. It was a good game. It is a good game. I really like it. It used some of the same gameplay elements as Revenge of Shinobi and Shinobi 3. And, you know, the ninja magic was kind of like the same as Revenge of Shinobi, and you know, it's a very good game. I highly recommend this game as well. The PS2 was the very last time we saw a Shinobi game released, with Shinobi on the PS2. Now this one, it really switched things up because it gave it a different story. Again, kind of like of a more convoluted story. And, you know, it gave it the 3D makeover, obviously, which you kind of knew what was going to happen. It being a PS2 game, and this game really kind of threw me for a loop. Back in the day, I used to play this game, and I think I played like maybe 2 hours of it, and then I stopped playing it just because it just didn't feel like a Shinobi game to me. Now, revisiting the game for this episode, though, I fell in love with it. This is also a very good game, and it's a worthy follow-up in the Shinobi franchise. It just takes a little bit of patience for you to get used to running around in a third-person 3D landscape, using the ninja magic, and then you take out enemies, and the faster you take them out, the more like bonus you get, and it freezes the screen and gives you like a little cutscene, which can, you know, at first it seems like a cool concept, but it gets old really fast. And I haven't gotten too far into this game, but there's a lot for me to enjoy in it. Shinobi on the PS2 also received a spiritual successor in Nightshade. This one also flipped it up because no longer were you a male ninja, you were a female ninja, and you donned red. Now, this is also a game that escaped me. I also discovered this game later on. And I wish I would have, though, because this too is a worthy game to be playing, and it's a good game in the Shinobi lineup. You know, there's nothing bad that I can say about this game. But what I can say is that Shinobi let us down. They should have followed up with these games because these games were some of the best of the 16-bit era. The PS2 games also were no slouches. They were an awesome couple of games that were released on the PS2. So it just makes me wonder, what is Sega doing to revive this classic? It's like they will give Sonic a movie over a Shinobi movie, and that's, you know, that just sucks. And I can't help to blame the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for this a little bit, because when you think of ninjas, especially in the video game landscape, most people think of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to begin with. And so I think that it kind of discourages other people from making ninja games, especially Sega, but they shouldn't, because, you know, Shinobi isn't the only ninja game worth a damn in all of video games. There's also Ninja Gaiden, which was another awesome set of ninja games. And I just think that Sega needs to be brave, bite the bullet, and give us a Shinobi follow-up. I mean, it's only right. The last game I'm going to be talking to you guys about should be of no surprise. It is Golden Axe. Again, my love affair with Golden Axe began in the arcades, and it is just one of these classic beat 'em ups that you get to play. You get to play as one of 3 heroes. Obviously, it is the dwarf, Gilius Thunderhead, and Tyrus, which is the female Amazon, and then Axe Battler, who is Conan the Barbarian looking dude. You know, what's not to love about this game, and what is left to be said about it, other than that it is an awesome beat 'em up. And the Sega Genesis version of this game was also a banger. It was one of these games that was a console seller, in my opinion. I had to have a Sega Genesis just so that I could play Golden Axe on it, and it was just a magnifique, a magnifique port of the arcade on the Sega Genesis. Now, of course, the Sega Genesis also saw Golden Axe 2, which was It wasn't very different from Golden Axe 1 other than the way that the magic took place. It was no longer, you could like power it up differently. And the enemies were also different. Not to mention the steeds. The steeds that you ride in Golden Axe 2 were different, but you know, it was the same 3 characters and it was the same concept, you know, go in and beat everything up in sight. Golden Axe 3 on the Sega Genesis was kind of a different beast. And you know, this was also one that I never grew up playing, but that I discovered later on in life. And there was no more Gilius Thunderhead, so you couldn't be the dwarf anymore. He was more of like the overseer, kind of telling you the mission and telling you what needs to be done. But there was this panther dude. There was also this Neanderthal looking dude. You could still be Axe Battler in Golden Axe 3, and you can still be Tyrus in Golden Axe 3. And it wasn't the best Golden Axe game, but you know, I'm gonna give it a pass just because it kept the franchise going. And you know, what's not to like about that? It's, you know, it's continuing the support for Golden Axe. Now, of course, everybody knows that Golden Axe also made an appearance on the PS3 and the Xbox 360 with Golden Axe Beast Rider. Now, this game is, in my opinion, an awesome game. I know that you guys are listening to the journalist and to other YouTubers who say that it's a Garbo game, but it is not a Garbo game, guys. This game is an awesome game. I highly recommend it. Of course, it got the 3D treatment again, and you can only be one of the 3 original heroes in this game, which I think kind of, you know, made everybody triggered and give it bad scores and stuff like that. But to me, it wasn't a deal breaker. And I did a video of my unpopular gaming opinion on this particular game. And so I'm not going to talk too much about it, but wow, what a game, and what a game that was unfairly targeted in my opinion. So the last time that we heard about Golden Axe was a release of an unfinished proof of concept game called Golden Axe. This was released, I think it was about a year or a year and a half ago. It was released on Steam, and it was a game that Sega had been working but never made the light of day. And it is very, very impressive. If you haven't downloaded this game, you can download it on Steam and play it on Steam. But this is the Golden Axe game that would have been a great follow-up to the series, in my opinion. I mean, the level that they give you shows such impressive graphic details, and it shows like the enemy models, and it shows like what kind of a Golden Axe game it would be on a new generation console. And I think they did a great job with it. I can't imagine why Sega would have not released this game. I want you guys to finish it so I could play it, you know, and add all of the characters that we got to be in the original Golden Axe in this game, and give it to us, Sega. I think that we deserve it. Anyways, guys, these aren't the only 3 games that Sega has slept on. I mean, what about eSWAT, right? What about Phantasy Star? You know, these are games also that I think deserve as much love as Sega is giving Sonic right now. Because although Sonic, yeah, it's aight. I mean, there's no Mario or anything. But Sega is just like, they're gushing over Sonic, and yes, it's making millions of dollars at the box office, and you know, Jim Carrey, and you know, I like the movie. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't seen the second one, but you know, they're continuing on, but they're pouring all of the love into Sonic. But Sega, you really need to pour the love into some of these intellectual properties that you have tossed. You have tossed in the gutter, and we don't deserve it. You guys need to make this right with the fans. And I think that is going to do it for this video, guys. I'm glad that you were able to join me. Let me know in the comments what franchises you think Sega needs to bring back for the new console generations, and Give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to The Big Retro Show. And until the next one, I will see you. Peace!